So coming back on to our featured speaker this evening or today, we have a very talented speaker. Every time she talks, she has a whole different direction, a different story to share with us all. Now you can see from this poster is designed by volunteers in Tainan with the editing by the a young volunteer in Kaohsiung. So we can see it's a very warming color filled with this pink and reddish color, uh, giving you this feeling of postpartum warmth. So this is an introduction to our editing as well as our graphic designs team. And one of the sisters was sharing that while she was waiting to get her health exam, she heard about people talking about Sister Meiyun or Teacher Meiyun. Fortunately, they were talking about good things, and these volunteers were started early on while we were testing. While we're just testing connections with other countries, and now that they have returned to Taiwan, they are now joined our editing team. So let's watch a little clip about the postpartum care center in the Dalin Hospital. So the postpartum center has been established 4 years ago, and these are the kids who were born at the Dalin Hospital. They're now coming back. So it started in 2018 and so far has serviced more than 570 patients and taking care of more than 600 kids. Now, as we all know, this number will continuously increase because that news was broadcasted in March of this year. So for the 6 months that had passed, there's definitely a lot more people that were born, a lot more kids that were born. Now, a lot of people, such as myself, probably don't have the opportunity to stay there, but we can definitely know people who may benefit from staying at the center. The nurses there will also teach them how to take care of their newborn kids and help the mothers to deal with the motherhood task. Now, using platforms as well as video surveillances, they can see their kids even though they're away from the hospital. So it's definitely an intelligent postpartum care center. Now, if you know anyone that may benefit, help spread the news to them. Now, as we know, these disposable diapers are very fairly used as a newborn. And every year it produces more than 160 tons of waste. So Tzu Chi has been promoting using washable or reusable diapers. Now, the nurses there are also visiting Dye Academy schools across Taiwan to understand more about the Tzu Chi values. And one of our volunteers, our speakers here, joined the training so that she can follow the footsteps of masters. And her husband had vowed to start a vegetarian diet. So very grateful for her to join us today. So let's give her a warm applause and for her to bring the positive energy to join us. So very grateful for Dalin Hospital as well as Sister Yujen for the introduction. So she came down all the way from Dalin, and when I was asking if she was tired, she said she was just yawning the entire way. Now, people have given us feedback that being our platform here, our study group here, have invited many different departments from the City Hospital to share their stories with us. And as we all know, for many of our volunteers here, giving birth is not something that it's not a foreign thing to do, but being in a center and being in a place where they're taken care of, that might be a brand new, different experience. So we can share and explain a little about Sister Ruiling and her response. Her description of her is that she's very determined, and even though she may face obstacles or difficulties throughout the way, she always finds ways in Dharma to change and to motivate herself. So we're truly very grateful for her to be here. And as we all know that in Tzu Chi no matter where we are in the world, we're bound to face some obstacles. But being in Tzu Chi, we have this wonderful source to Dharma and who help us overcome these adversities. And today we have the head of the nursing department of the Postpartum Care Center, and Sister Feng Ruiling. So let's give her a round of applause here and thank her for joining us. So to our brothers and sisters and our global Tzu Chi family, hope you all have a good day. I am Dalin Tzu Chi Hospital Postpartum Care Center, their head of nursing, Feng Ruiling. So from the introduction earlier, I shared that the Postpartum Center started in 2018. It started with the Master's blessing that with the birth of new life, we should not be harming the lives of others. So we wanted to create a vegetarian diet to nourish the mothers after they've given birth, so they could feel free and be well cared for. And bearing this in mind, we've been diligently and actively creating programs that adhere to this principle. Now, our care program started early, from the prenatal care to follow-up to after-birth care, and even when they are staying in our center. It has been a seamless transition. So from the beginning to the end, there is no break. This is a seamless care process with a focus to let the mothers and the newborn family to be at ease with the changes in their life. So postpartum care is not just about getting plenty of rest. It also involves caring for the mother as well as the newborn. So we have our OBGYN department, our pediatric department, as well as our Chinese or Oriental medicine department, providing a one-on-one service. Our Oriental medicine doctors would check their pulse to make sure that they have enough energy, enough flow within them, and even evaluate their milk production if they're breastfeeding. So using Oriental medication to care for the mothers has been a very effective way. For example, we have created a formula to help reduce water retention. So this process in Chinese postpartum care started in the Han Dynasty. So it's been has a long history. Initially, during birth, because of the bleeding, they would be retaining blood clots within them. So it may take up to 6 to 8 weeks for these blood clots to be completely expelled. So this care process is a very important process in nurturing and bring the mother back to health. And not only did it benefit the people in our area, but also benefited everyone who traveled and joined us. And it bears testament to the compassion of masters on people all far and wide. So, as we know, breastfeeding may be one of the most beneficial thing and best way to establish that connection with a newborn. So we would discuss with the mothers whether they want to breastfeed naturally or they would bottle feed and use different positions, such as the cradle method or even the football method, where we're holding the baby and tightly in our arms. So if the mother is having trouble cradling the baby, we would encourage them to use different positions in different ways. They could also, if they're giving birth to twins, they have to hold them like a football and holding them tightly, holding the twins tightly. We also teach them how to feed laying down. One of probably the older thoughts process would think that breastfeeding is is a very easy process. Unfortunately, many of our mothers nowadays are all working mothers. So especially for those who are giving birth, taking kids for the first time. So they may not know how to care or feed the newborn properly. And supplemented with Oriental medication, we would help reduce any lumps using laser acupuncture to open up the ducts, the milk ducts. Now, laser acupuncture is a very precise method, and using like a laser pen to help open up the blockage. The most important thing is so that the mothers under our care, we have seen a significant increase in their milk production. Many of the mothers who were previously feeding using formulas because of the lack of milk productions were able to fill a fridge. Now, as we know, recently the trend is to be more environmentally conscious and reduce plastic waste. So our care center has been following suit and continuing this process. We made a contract with the mothers and explaining them the vegetarian principles that Master has bestowed upon us, and to have and ask them to take this opportunity by caring for their lives with the vegetarian diet and cultivating blessings altogether. Most mothers can see eye to eye with our principles before they choose to stay in our Dalin care center. The principle is simple, so that for your own health, to care for your own health, we're not killing and or establishing a negative karma with other living beings. So here's an example. Miss Yen, who before coming into our center, she had to have meat every meal. So it was a bit of a challenge for her. And we started out with an easy process, maybe 3 to 4 days to experience a vegetarian diet and to see if it's truly what they have thought of. Now, throughout the process, there is definitely a mentor, and that is who accompanied today, Sister Bi Zhen. Because for Miss Yan, who's joining, who's planning to join who's planning to stay in the care center, she was really worried that she won't be getting enough nutrients adopting a vegetarian diet. So our advisors promised her that she will see a significant improvement in her health, as well as feeling more at ease taking a vegetarian diet. We've been modifying and monitoring the flavors and ingredients that we give in the meals that we provide to our patients, or those that are staying with us. Like we have a particular tea. As we all know, a lot of the mothers will feel thirsty after giving birth. So this tea is designed to quench their thirst. We also have a special water which is targeted to take care of their kidneys and to help reduce back pain. So each of the meal is custom made and catered to the taste of our mothers, and many of them feel warmth after eating the meal and found that they were able to sleep better, as well as improve their complexion. Even the swelling they experience in their lower extremities have seen a significant experience after eating our meals. So in the 14 days that she has stayed with us, that she has seen significant change. So Miss Yen ended up staying with us for the full 30 days. Now, she's a first-time mother, and her birth also coincided with our Mother's Day celebration. Her husband was working in a far away, so she was experiencing some depression, and so we connected with her husband and to have him write a note to express the gratitude as well as his emotions towards her. After seeing that card, she really became emotional. She was really touched because of these gestures. And we're very happy that we can play such a big role in a very important part, a stage of her life. And not only was she feel encouraged, she said that if she had the second child, she would come back and stay with us because of the care that she received. Now, because of time, we're just gonna show this a short clip here. So when I was picking a postpartum center, I was considering to give birth in Dalin Hospital. So I had a tour of the care center, and the environment, equipment there, as well as the staff are very friendly. But what made me hesitant was the full vegetarian diet. Now, for someone who is very used to meat, I was afraid that would not to my taste. But with everyone's encouragement, I decided to try it. And after 30 days, I realized that vegetarian diet can be very have a full of variety and can be very tasty as well. The nutritionist will make adjustments according to our body needs. Like me, I have thyroid problem as well as gestational diabetes. So the nutritionist will pay special attention to iodine and sugar intake. After 30 days, I feel my bodies feel lighter and I can see my skin improving. So from the clip comparing to now, we can see that her she you can see that her complexion is much better. She definitely have more energy now. So we're very grateful for her to be sharing with us, sharing her experience with us. Now her child is about 2 years old now, and you can see how healthy he is. So majority of the mothers who stay with us are not vegetarians, but 90% of them eat meat. And many of their family members are concerned about them getting a vegetarian diet. So they would take videos and pictures and share with their family members that about the food that they eat. And so that to convince them that vegetarian diet can be nutritious and be very nourishing to the body as well. So ever since our establishment, it's about almost 5 years now, we have surveyed our residents about how satisfied they are with the meals. And we see that the satisfaction rate has been hovering around 90%. It's not been an easy task because many of them have not had the opportunity to have a long-term vegetarian diet. So the variety as well as the preparation method had let them feel that they were well cared for. So one of the mother has shared with us that after taking the vegetarian diet, she had found some positive changes in her body. So after saying 21 days, she went home and continued the vegetarian diet. And that has been a very encouraging to us because that we realize that they are beginning to see the benefits of having a vegetarian diet. And many of them are actually looking forward to what's on their next meal. And And we also tailored individually. We also tailor individually to the mother based on their taste profile and their preferences, and we would talk to the nutritionist to make the proper changes. And even with a vegetarian diet, a lot of the mothers will still have very robust milk production. Now, in addition to vegetarian diet, we are also promoting a environmentally conscious living style. So we have a mother who lives abroad, and many of the practices abroad is so that after birth they will be having ice cream or having raw foods, and she felt that it was too cold for her, that she's not getting the proper nourishment. So after coming back to Taiwan and stayed for the full 30-day, her kid, uh, her child started at about 300 kilos, and by the end of the 30 days, he was 500 grams, 5 kilos. It because she has such a great meal production with the vegetarian diet. Now, her husband is named. Her husband is from the U.S. and he heard what Master was teaching, that don't end the life just because of the birth of a new one. And he felt awakened by that. So while while his wife was staying in the Dalin hospital, he would be watching Dai television, and he's become aware that disposable diaper has been a huge burden to the world. So using environmentally friendly diapers is a more sustainable way. So from these two pictures, can you see the differences? On the left-hand side is when it's 1 month after birth. And this is when he came and donated uh, environmentally friendly diapers. And we can see how skinny he has become. He's a vegan, and ever since his wife came to the came to stay with the Dalin Center, he has adopted a vegan diet, and he felt that he has definitely he is much slimmer now, and he feels much more balanced, and he's very satisfied with where he is right now. Even his kids are vegan. They don't eat any animal product. Now this is the kid, and as you can see, she's vegan, and you can see how healthy she is. So, as I mentioned earlier, to protect our Earth, our environmental friendly diapers is very important. So, a week before he returned to New York, he donated 10 boxes of these diapers to us and wanted to share with all the new mothers. So, let's hear a little video about his thought adopting a vegan diet. So they have now moved back to the US, and today they would like to share with everyone 3 years ago when my second child was born, when I received care at the Dalin Postpartum Care Center. So after we got married, we wanted to give birth in Taiwan so that she can get properly cared for. And I'm very grateful that Dalin Hospital can take care of her when we had our second child. And while we were there, one sentence has been stayed in our heart, which was to welcome a new life. Let's not end the life of others. And because of this thought, we have been thinking about adopting a vegetarian diet before, but this opportunity really opened the door for us and made us realize that it's not such a difficult to do. So that buried a seed of a vegan diet. And after I leave the center, my husband started to take on a vegan diet, and myself and my kids soon followed. So this is Nate's donation, the diapers, and sharing that with everyone. So these diapers, with the diapers he wanted to share with us all, and all the mothers who received it have made them to reevaluate and think about the impact of diapers on the world, on Earth. And they would be brainstorming what ways to not create such a huge burden in the trash process. So in the almost 5 years, there are 739 couples and more than 1,400 kids. So and many of them are their second or third child. So if they have not received such a great care at our centers, they wouldn't have stayed with us, twice or three times. And one of the testimonies was another one from the US, and she shared with us that there were some conflicts initially because her family was not accepting of her choosing a vegetarian diet while recovering after birth. But fortunately, she was able to communicate with them the benefits and share with them all the care that I received. Obviously, as we know, that giving birth has been traditionally a very dangerous time for all females. Now, many times there are some very polarizing results, and we have experienced some difficulties, such as postpartum embolism. As we all know, after giving birth, a mother's blood flow slows down, and that could create blood clots. And that a lot of times these blood clots will resolve by themselves. But if these blocks were a little bigger and flows to the brain, they can cause, a stroke or a blockage in the brain or in their lungs. And this can be a fatal incident. It has been the third cause of death in postpartum women. Now, this particular case, she was given birth after 29 weeks, and after the third day of staying, she started to notice some blood in her while coughing. So immediately, our care team went into actions using CT scans and found a clot in the right lung and transfer her to a maternal intensive care unit. So fortunately, after a month of intensive care, her vitals are stable. And to avoid the new father from traveling into different places, we offered the father to stay in the care center. So this is the mother, as we see this kid. When he was born, he was only about 7 months old, and now in this picture, he's about 9 months old. You can barely tell that he was a premature birth. And the mother has been on blood thinners for 6 months after giving birth, as we see from this picture that she has a very good complexion, she has good energy, and fortunately we were able to prevent any tragedies from happening. Another case is postpartum hemorrhage. As we all know, naturally, a natural birth, they would lose about 500 cc's of blood. Now, if such blood is, if the blood levels are not volumes are not recovered, or the hemorrhaging is not stopped, it could cause hemorrhagic shock. So we had able to, in this particular case, we're able to care and nurture her back to health. Now, in the process, she was very fearful and she was shaking the entire way. And she didn't know whether she was shaking because she was shaking in fear or because of the blood loss. Now, our nurses have been comforting her the entire way. And that has been very warming to her. And now, here I would like to express my gratitude of having this care center established in Dalin Hospital, so that we have the ability to care for mothers and kids and each of these families, and maintain the completeness of each of the family. We will continuously promote the vegetarian meals and wish that all of them will grow strong from these meals. So here's my sharing. So I can see how precise she is with timing. And next, I would like to invite the Jinsi product team. Now, I'm very grateful for Sister Ruiling and share with us here, because of her PowerPoint, her slides made it very easy for us to see the cases. So from Taichung, so let's give a round of applause for our Jinsi culinary team who have brought the mooncakes to us. And now we know that we have the sewing bodhisattvas, but sewing volunteers are joining us, so they are here to share what they made. Now, unfortunately, because we don't have the opportunity to teach everyone how to make it in the morning, we will be teaching them in the afternoon. So we will be taking pictures here. So back to our feedback from Taichung. The postpartum center has given the new mothers a new vision of vegetarian diet, and from Beijing is sharing that vegetarian diet has been very beneficial. That she that her daughter has now started to adopt a vegetarian diet as well. And from Sister Janice in Switzerland, I was very sharing her gratitude for having this center providing a plant-based meal. And as we all know, Dalin City Hospital is coming up to its 24th anniversary. And we're very grateful for them to continuously caring for people and patients in the local area. And want to share with you that this center will be a great place to take care of yourself after giving birth. So she's showing her how to hold the plates so that we can all see the mooncakes and see how they are in uniform. And we're very grateful for Master's blessing and to join the sewing team. So unfortunately, we didn't have the sewing products that are sharing with that on display today, but we are very grateful that we have started the program and meet so many friends and making good relationships with the people. And as we all know, the Pingdong Jingsi culinary team has been very famous in Taiwan for their talent. So as they are visiting us, I asked them whether they can make something and share with everyone. So they created this. And after seeing them making it, I wanted to bring them together in the last 15 minutes of the sewing team, a sewing program, to teach everyone how to make this. So with with their help, we have 4 teams who will rotate once a season to teach all the volunteers here how to use Jingsi products and make these 4 flavored mooncake. And these are also very healthy very healthy foods. Now, a lot of them are mostly in the kitchen, so they're very nervous coming up here. So let's give them a round of applause. Those who are here probably had the opportunity to taste that yourself. And even they even have some presents for you all. So let's give them another round of applause to thank them. More feedback here who show their gratitude for the activities team. And the feedback is about the Dalin Care Center and how they are uh, constantly caring for mothers and caring about their both their physical and mental being and their their lifestyle. In Kaohsiung, is sharing that it's very fortunate to be cared for in the Dalin Hospital because they have friendly staff, have great food, and they were able. Then you can celebrate birth without taking away any lives. So very grateful and thank you all for leaving all the comments. And from Brother Hen Yuan, he said he's at home taking because of an injury, but after hearing the songs from the activity team, he felt really motivated and wanted to join in as well. So when he comes back in October, we'll be using that same song as well. So back to our slides here. This afternoon we have the sewing team, and every Wednesday, if you have the opportunity to purchase all these goods, we have all these promotions and gifts for you to pick from.